Alright guys, what's up? It's that time of year again. Time for the gigantic May sale, where Gaijin just puts pretty much everything on sale. I mean, there's discounts on vehicles, discounts on upgrades, discounts on premium time. It started today and it's running until May 5th, so April 28th and May 5th. One of the different things they've done this year, which I kind of like, is there will be no division by country this time. So the discounts are started for every nation and it's going to run through the entire sale. So, they won't go a couple of days for USA and then switch to Russia. And then I didn't like that way. So Gaijin, thanks for listening to that. And like with any sale, you got to read the fine print. So there's some limitations. Discounts can't be applied to squadron vehicles, vehicles from the battle pass, vehicles from the event, like the repair factory event, and the Sky Guardians and Apex Predator updates. There are no discounts on those vehicles. So if you're going to take advantage of the sale and purchase some premium vehicles, I do have some recommendations for aviation and ground. So here we go. Alright, so I don't want to recommend anything to you that I wouldn't play myself or that I don't play myself. So if you don't hear me mention it, it's either because I don't play it that often or I don't have the vehicle. But the F5C I do have, and I gotta say, at 10.3 as a premium, the F5C is probably the best aircraft that you could buy if you're trying to grind to top tier for the US tech tree. The reason why I say the F5C over maybe, I'll still recommend the A10A and the AV8A, but the F5C will teach you air-to-air combat. If you're going to buy the A10, which is still fine, or you're going to buy the AV8A Harrier, which is still fine, both of those are excellent grinders for for the tech tree. But if you want to grind and also learn air-to-air combat, get the F5C, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed if your aim is to get the top tier and actually be good at top tier. The F5C is limited by, 2 AM9Es. The AM9Es aren't that bad. I mean, they're not all aspect, but the F5C is so maneuverable and agile, you can almost always wiggle your way into a rear aspect infrared missile shot. And you have the guns on this jet, which are very good. You can get your nose on target so easy. So I can't say enough about the F5C. Top recommendation. Now for ARB, the A10 and the AV8A are still pretty good if you're trying to grind. Those aircraft have you have a better time with them in ground RB. And with the larger maps, especially for the A10, it's a little hard playing air realistic battles because it takes you so long to get to the front. Still very good aircraft. Lots of weapons, air-to-ground weapon options. The A10 has the all-aspect AM9L, which is very good for that aircraft. And the AV8A at 9.7 with its AM9Gs and really good air-to-ground bomb load is still a very good jet. So both are very good grinders. And if you do spend money on them, especially at a discount, you're going to be pretty satisfied. The next jet that I think is still available is the Harrier GR1. It's a GE Premium. But recently with that jet going down to 9.7, I think it's back in the game again. I ground out almost the entire British aviation tech tree with the Harrier GR1. The SRAMs are fantastic missiles. They do have their problems. Sometimes they just don't seem to track right. They bite off on flares like crazy, and they are extremely short ranged. I don't think the missiles are overpowered. Some players do. I mean, all they have to do is just keep you at range and they'll be fine. But very good Harrier with a very good air-to-ground missile load. If you wanted to put that in your lineups for ground realistic battles, I think you would get your money's worth out of the Harrier GR1, especially at a discount. And of course, one of my all-time favorites, and that is the Wyvern S4 at 4.0. This thing is a little beast. I use this jet in my lineups and to grind out the tree. Before I bought the Harrier GR1, I love the Wyvern. The engine is amazing. It's extremely fast for 4.0 and a very tough aircraft and very versatile aircraft with its air-to-ground load and its rockets. So Wyvern, very good buy. Even if you want to use it in naval battles, it's got torpedo armament. Wyvern all the way. Next up is the Su-25K. I know this jet recently went to 10.0 BR, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It still performs amazingly well. Hands down, probably one of the best close air support aircraft in the game. And when it comes to just straight air realistic battles, if you want to play it in that, it holds its own very well. I mean, it's faster than the A10. It still has a crazy damage model. I mean, this thing just doesn't go down when hit. But you know, you have all aspect infrared missiles, the R60s, R60 MKs, I believe, and if you put gun pods on it, you know, you're a beast and a head-on. So I like the SU-25, even up at 10.0 BR. It's still holding strong. You know, one jet I'd like to recommend as well is the G91R4. Now, I used it for the Italian tech tree mostly. I have it for Germany as well, but I use the heck out of it at grinding out the Italian tech tree. So, you know, you have 4 Sidewinder AM9Bs on there. It's not the fastest jet, but it does teach you basic air-to-air combat. You know, the G91's handling is beautiful to me. It's an extremely maneuverable jet. It's very forgiving if you treat it right. And I think the at 8.7, it's perfectly placed. And like I said, it's a joy to fly. So if you're thinking about, 8.7 G91R4, is it still a good jet? I think so. I mean, of course, you don't have countermeasures or anything like that, but 8.7, you should be pretty safe. So goodbye there, especially at a discount. And if you want to use this in ground realistic battle, I mean, the Nords aren't as strong as they used to be, but you still get to carry 4 of them. And, you know, if you're good with the Nords, you'll be a menace. Next up, and another excellent buy, is the A5C for China. I mean, this jet is just excellent. At 10.0, you know, I would have thought they would have moved this up a long time ago, but they haven't. I mean, at 10.0, you have the choice of AM9Ps or Magic 1s at 10.0. You have countermeasures, you know, don't have that many, but you have enough to be effective. You can carry a very, very effective bomb load if you are trying to bomb bases and targets in ARB. So all around, the A5C has everything you need. Its flight performance is amazing. You can get up high and fast and dive down on people. I mean, what more could you ask for at 10.0? And if that wasn't enough, it does get a little bit better. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear when I bought this, it did not have a bomb ballistic computer, but it does now. So its effectiveness in ground battles has essentially doubled for me. I mean, you can put warheads on foreheads pretty accurately with the A5C now. All right, so switching gears and moving over to ground here, my top recommendation, especially if you wish to grind out the US tech tree on the ground side of things, is the venerable XM1. There was a massive shuffling of the BRs recently, and the XM1 is still holding strong at 9.3. I mean, it is one of the best vehicles I have ever spent money on in the game. It's an honest tank. It doesn't have tons of armor, but you got speed. You have a thermal sight, and you have a brain, right? So the XM1 is, I think, the tanker's tank. So at a discount, definitely worth every penny. So the next tank I'll recommend is the T55 AM1 at 8.3. And at 8.3, this thing is just a beast. Its ammunition choices are amazing. You get a laser rangefinder at 8.3. You have, I think, very good turret armor at 8.3. And the tank is just a joy to play. I mean, you got some pretty good lineups you can build this thing around. And what more is there to say, right? The T55 AM1, I think, is a better buy than the T72 AV Terms T. Because at 8.3, there's a lot of things you don't have to worry about that the Terms has to worry about. So my next recommendation for Russia ground is the 2S38. You know, it's a G vehicle, but at 10.0, I mean, they moved my boy up, but still, he does really bad things at 10.0. Still a very good buy, especially at a discount. I mean, this thing is primarily an air defense vehicle, but it's real nasty when it comes to ground vehicles. So really, its flexibility would be the main reason that I would get it. I mean, you can slot it in as an air defense vehicle, and also you can use it for anti-tank purposes. So next up is the ZTZ96A prototype. I did a review on this tank a ways back. I'll link it here so you can check it out. Very solid tank, you know, especially at 10.0. It plays just like pretty much the other ZTZ 96 series, you know, come before it. Has a little bit more, I guess, the potential to bounce shells due to its turret layout, you know, that pointed nose, that needle nose kind of look. But overall, I can't find any reason that I would not recommend this tank, especially if grinding out China is what you want to do. Solid vehicle, especially at a discount. So the next vehicle up is the Samoa SM, and now at 7.3, this French tank is with its autoloader is really good. I mean, it has I think it's about a 9 shell autoloading mechanism, a 100mm gun with a pretty good shell. It's decently mobile for its size. It is a pretty big tank. So if you're looking to start grinding the French tech tree, but you're really not sure if you want to go all the way top tier, try the Samoa SM at, like I said, at 7.3, really solid vehicle. I mean, you could go with the AMX30 at 7.7 or even the AMX30 Super at 9.0, but I think the Samoa SM at 7.3 with its autoloader is pretty competitive, and it give you a taste of what the French tanks are like, especially if you like tanks like the Lorraine 40T or the AMX50. All right, so I just want to talk about helicopters here before I close out the video. I know helicopters aren't really, a lot of people really hate on them, but I think they're essential for your lineup if you're looking to have, a full spectrum of capabilities. But the KA-50 is probably my top recommendation. Even at 11.0, even at 11.0, this helicopter, especially with a discount, is still worth it. You get the Vickers missile, which is the best ATGM in the game. I mean, you can shoot down airplanes, you can shoot down helicopters, you can also use them against ground vehicles. So it is a very versatile helicopter. All you're really missing is a thermal sight. So if that's not a big deal for you, go ahead and get the KA-50. I mean, you're going to elicit some hate for sure, but it is a really good helicopter. It just is. So the last heli I'll talk about is the Z19E for the Chinese tech tree, and this also suffered the same fate. It got bumped up to BR 11.0, but if you already have, a lineup up there and say you just need a close air support option, the Z19E is a really good helicopter simply because of the missiles that it carries. It doesn't have a gun at all, but what it does have are those TY-90 air-to-air missiles. Now, gaijins, when this first came into the game, it was extremely overpowered. Gaijins kind of toned them down a bit, but the TY-90 air-to-air missile was still probably the best air-to-air missile on a helicopter in the game. So Z19, really worth the money, and if it's coming at a discount, you might as well pick it up, especially if you're looking to have a full spectrum of capabilities for your lineup. All right, guys, that's it for my recommendations. If you're still here watching, I really appreciate you sticking out till the end. It really helps me out. And you let me know what you think about the recommendations. I didn't want the video to be too long, but I do like all these vehicles that I mentioned here, and I wouldn't recommend them if I didn't think they were worth picking up, and especially with a discount. If you're going to spend money anyway, you might as well use it for that.